Tension is mounting as the U.S. moves closer to a military response in Syria. U.S. warships are in position, targets have been identified, and America's allies are standing by. Today, Britain plans to introduce a resolution in the UN Security Council condemning the Assad regime, as growing evidence points to the Syrian government using chemical weapons against its own people. Strong words from the Obama administration as momentum builds in the case against Syria.
There is no doubt who is responsible for this heinous use of chemical weapons in Syria: the Syrian regime.
It's undeniable that chemical weapons were used on a large scale.
But still no decision today on how the U.S. will respond. President Obama has positioned military assets in the region, and the Pentagon has identified potential targets, most likely chemical weapons sites and military installations. Now they wait on the president's orders.
We are ready to go.
The White House is consulting with House and Senate leaders, and both President Obama and Vice President Biden have been on the phone with world leaders trying to gain full international support. Key U.S. allies are on board for a military response.
The question now for us is, are we more likely to deter the future use of chemical weapons by acting or not acting?
I do not believe the world can simply turn a blind eye to the use of chemical weapons against a civilian population, resulting in nearly 300 deaths or more.
The Arab League released a statement holding Assad responsible for the attack and called on the UN to respond, but stopped short of calling for military action. The UN is not likely to give its support, but White House officials say Assad's actions pose a direct threat to U.S. national security, giving President Obama potential legal justification for launching a strike without UN authorization. U.S. officials did not detail how the U.S. was directly threatened. Meanwhile, Syria stands by its warning that it will respond to any military strike by using all means.
If Bashar al-Assad didn't hesitate to use chemical weapons against his own sleeping civilians, what's to stop him from using them against sleeping Turks, Jordanians, or Israelis? So that's the nightmare scenario.
Israeli officials say they're prepared to defend themselves. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a warning of his own to Syria, saying, quote, "We are not part of the civil war in Syria, but if we identify any attempt whatsoever to harm us, we respond with great force." And the unrest in Syria has sent the price of oil surging over the last 3 months. It's up more than 15%. On Wednesday, it rose past $112 a barrel.